and welcome to our volunteers breakfast, so what I consider it to be called It's All About You breakfast. Once again, I am Dr. Kim Heil and the superintendent here at Fridley. So we are just overly pleased that you attended today. I thank you for taking the time out of your day for allowing Fridley Public Schools to honor you. When we come to the word thank you, it's so often that at times I believe that it loses its meaning. Yesterday, we are thanking you for your service and your help to Fridley Public Schools by helping staff, students in the district. But I would also like us to take some time, just a brief time this morning, for us just to have a mindful pause of gratitude for every one of you in this room. Let's all just take a slight moment to forget about what we have to do for the rest of the day. That would be nice. Forget about our phones, forget about our computers, and all the messaging that comes our way each day. Instead, our volunteers and guests, let's just take a pause, and let's just take a breath, and just let's take some time to reflect on the following. So let's reflect on our volunteers' time that was willingly given to others, reminding us all that you all could have said no, but you said yes, and you gave your precious time to help others. We thank you for that. Let's also reflect on our volunteers' experiences and the impact that you have made on other individuals, and even the impact that have been made on you. And last but not least, let's reflect on how your volunteer time in the current world environment that we live in has provided a branch of caring for others. So I didn't want this just to be a simple thank you. I wanted to let you know that Fridley Public Schools, we pause, and it means more than just that simple word of thank you. We have full gratitude for the work that you do in helping others at Fridley Public School. So next, we will like to share a volunteer appreciation presentation with you. Thank you.
Throughout its history, Fridley Public Schools has been abundantly supported by its surrounding community. One of the greatest impacts on the district is that of our wonderful volunteers. Over the years, volunteers have provided financial resources for backpacks, winter clothing, programs that support curriculum, and much-needed school supplies.
I know how expensive school supplies can be, and I know how important it is for your first day to start off with a good foot.
Our volunteers help with field trips, after-school programs, activities, and athletics.
Just the absolute joy that the students had and the coaches had, and to be able to be part of that and to record it through photography.
You've shown our students and families that you care.
I hope that somehow our quirky little congregation with people who are scientists and people who are artists and people who are just mushy hearts like me can all come and be a part of the school in a way that will matter in students' lives.
Fridley's students have benefited from your time and guidance.
Sometimes kids think that they're stuck, that they can't go any further. And I'm here to say you can.
You've mentored tomorrow's leaders to show them that they can achieve what they dream.
I think the first year we did the teeter-totter marathon in my house, we went for 125 hours. Jeez. We had 92 kids coming and going, and including some policemen that sat on the teeter-totter.
Setting an example for what community is.
To see kids perform and go on, they're going to top universities, no matter what. They're going to succeed, and that makes us very happy.
And our volunteers have done it all with love and compassion.
We were here and we were helping out in Mrs. Charles' room, and then they all came running to us and gave us a big hug.
Thank you to all of the Fridley Public Schools volunteers who have so generously given their time, expertise, and compassion. You are helping to shape our future.
All right, next it's time to individually thank each one of you separately. So we'll start out with Mr. Vossler with Stevenson Elementary.
All right, with my Stevenson crew, come on up here. Come on, Minko. Come on, Minko. Carrie, bring your crew up here. You guys haven't been shy before. All right, hey Carrie, why don't you help me with the Minko crew here? First of all, we're going to start with Minko. 2 years ago, I don't know how we got in touch. We kind of connected. I don't know if I called you or you called me, but this is for 2 years now. Minko called me one day and said, "We've got some school supplies and we want to give them to you." And I chased over to Minko right before school started and pulled up, and she said, pull up to the dock, you know. And so I pulled up to the dock with my car, and my car was just packed, trunk. We were cramming stuff into that thing. Then I got a little smarter this year. I borrowed my son's pickup truck. And honestly, I'll tell you, that's what it took. It took a pickup truck to take all the school supplies that Minko had collected for us. And I hope we've done a good job of letting you know how grateful that we are for all the school supplies that we come in for, that we outfit our teachers and kids with each year. Do you want to introduce your crew?
Mary Jo, Tammy, Phyllis, John, and Andy. And that's only part of it.
Yeah, so like I said, I show up there and there's pallets of stuff sitting over at Minko for us. So we truly appreciate all the work that goes into engaging your employees in efforts to support our school. So we hope to see you again in August. Yeah. All right, so we'll do the whole certificate thing on our own, okay? And then I'll have a chance to personally thank you guys. All right, Debbie. Where's Debbie? Step forward, Debbie, will you? Okay. So Debbie has Bella, right? Grandma? We have 4 grandmas in the crew here that I know of, and a grandpa. So lots of wisdom comes into our school. So Debbie has been said to be the secret to Miss Beitelman's sanity on Tuesday afternoons. She works with the kids, empowering them to use their strategies and techniques that she has taught them during the lesson. She remembers each of the kids' names and is always there just when they need that little extra push or someone to listen to. And so, and then the kids wanted me to say that they really appreciate the little treats you bring to them. So thank you to you, Debbie. All right. Loida came into Debbie Ryan's room. You take a step forward so they know who you are, Loida. Thank you. Loida comes into Debbie's room, jumped right in, and she does the toughest stuff. She does the shoes and all the buttoning and the coats. So she does all that little grunt work and a whole lot of hugs, don't you, to those kindergartners. She works with 1 or 2 students at a time, pulling them out and just reinforcing those little math skills or phonics skills that they're learning in kindergarten. She helps reteach those skills and that they've had trouble with, and Debbie Ryan wants you to know she truly appreciates all that little work that you come in and help her with, taking care of those kindergartners. Thank you, Loida. Lynn Peterson. How come you didn't come up here with us?
I was confused.
Come on up here, Nancy.
I got confused.
Yeah. Well, it must have been my communication. Oh, okay. So Lynn here, mother of Kate and Gunnar. Lynn helps Mrs. Hazelman from everything from cutting, laminating, scanning, making copies, reading with students, and helping with those fun activities like those breakout boxes she does. And then I didn't know about the pie in the face challenges, so you'll have to tell me about that. She knows the students well and is always willing to help out when she can. The quote I have here is, Lynn makes our teachers truly feel incredibly appreciated. And I think for teachers, that is incredibly important, that they truly feel that their work is appreciated. So thank you, Lynn. Nancy, want to step forward, Nancy? Nancy is the grandmother of Stephen. Nancy reads with kids in Miss Beitelman's class. She's always patient and kind and listens to their stories and answers questions. She helps with their writing and is always there to help them with that extra tricky word that they can't spell. Miss Beitelman truly wants to know that you two are appreciated, and those kids love to see you come through the door each day. Thank you. Nancy, another grandma? Yeah. Nancy does a wonderful job working with Miss Jensen's students. She has a great knack for helping students stay focused and understand those difficult concepts, all while spreading, they said you share a whole lot of grandma love in that classroom. So what a nice thing to hear. So thank you. All right, Sharon, you want to step forward, Sharon? Sharon's been at our school for a number of years. Started with Allison, who is now a 5th grader at the middle school. She started in kindergarten with Allison. She volunteers for many years. Sharon is a great help in Debbie Ryan's classroom because she has a kindergarten grandson right now. And also Leah. So she's got a couple of kids at Stevenson. She jumps in and will help with anything. She fills Wednesday folders, works with students one-on-one in small groups on reading and math skills. She plays games, reads with them, and works on getting students caught up when they have been ill or gone. The students love to work with her as she is calm and just has a loving personality, they said. That's pretty good for those little kids. So thank you. All right. Then lastly, we have Doug Haugland. Doug was a former teacher at Stevenson for a number of years. And then after he got done teaching, he came back and student taught for, he told me this morning, 8 years. Student taught. My head is somewhere. Yeah. So for 8 years, then he came in and subbed, and now for, I don't know, God, Doug, it's been, another 3-4 years that you are, he comes in, works with first graders on one day of the week, has done some work with our ADSYS program kids, and I know next week, Media Center, his brother or his son-in-law is now our media teacher, so he goes into the Media Center, and then next week he'll be tilling up our pumpkin patch in the courtyard for us. So these are the Stevenson volunteers. I want to thank you all for all what you do for our school. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Amy Cochran, the principal at the middle school, and this is Danielle Peterson, and she is our assistant principal. And we have the honor this morning of introducing 3 individuals who work with our students on Lego League. And Lego League gets students interested in engineering. It really helps them come up and solve real-world problems, and so they are designing as a team with their coaches. They're really doing a lot of problem solving with engineering and building, getting them interested in robotics, and so we are very thankful. It's an after-school program, and so they work with a group of students who stay after school and work really hard on competing and getting interested in engineering. So we have Tom Ruart. You guys can come on up and get your certificates. And then Paul and Ruth Baham. And I know Ruth couldn't be here with us this morning, but we are so thankful for all of them. Also, I know that Ruth and Paul are not strangers to any of our buildings, and so I just want to say I know that they do a lot at the middle school, but I also know that the elementary schools too, they're very active in volunteering and working a lot with our math and science programs and giving a lot, so we are also very grateful for them in that sense. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Piotrowski. I'm the principal at Hayes, and I'm going to have my Hayes friends come on up here with us. I'll just get this. So when I was watching that video, I was really touched. One of the greatest events that we have in our school district is our back-to-school kickoff thing that we do at the middle school. We've done at the middle school the last couple of years. And it's just this gathering of our community. There's probably 20, 30 groups. Sarah, am I right about that? About 20, 30 groups, Daryl, that come in, that participate with that bring resources to our kids and our families. And it's an incredibly beautiful thing to watch. We have a volunteer group that has come in now for 3 years to our elementary schools, and they've done a bike giveaway. And one of the gentlemen that was part of that bike giveaway, he actually was a technician, so they make sure these bikes are working right before they give them to the kids. We give probably 500 bikes, 400 or 500 bikes away every year, and we've done it, I think this was our 3rd year. And last fall, a gentleman came into Hayes, and he just scheduled an appointment, right? And principal, you're kind of going, wonder what he wants, right? So he comes in and sits down, and he was very quiet and very respectful and very slow to speak, and he just asked some questions. And I had our counselor, Margot Rothenbacher, sitting with me, and he was asking some questions about our kids and wanting to know how life was. What is it like here, and what are you, and then he got to what are our needs, and we started talking about some of our programs. And one of our newer volunteer things that we have done is we've been doing food packs for kids. So we give food to kids on weekends. And this volunteer really almost single-handedly funded that program for a year, and he wrote us a check that day and wanted to get engaged in the whole story, and that brought more volunteers to the table, and it was just a really beautiful thing to watch. Paul and Ruth, watching your work, it's just been an incredibly beautiful thing to watch, and you think about the ripple effect of what you do, you'll never know the difference that you made in the life of a child by the time that you gave. So it's a very, very powerful thing that you're doing. And I know that right here, this is a sampling of what we have at Hayes. So Mike and Judy, I like numbers, right? You know I like numbers, right? Number guy. I'm trying to figure out how many pieces of art that they've put up in our school in the last, how many years? 7, 8, 9 years? Calculating. It's thousands. It's thousands of pieces of art. This is our secretary, Julie, and one of the things Julie and I do when new families come is we tour them. We give them tours of our school. And I am so incredibly proud of what happens when those new families see our walls. Because there's this beautiful artwork that's up all the time. It's up all the time. It's year round. The flack that I take from it is from the fire marshal. Too much art on the walls. Down. And it's just gorgeous. And this weekend you did it at the fair too. So that's really a big role that they play. The other thing that they do is they engage with kids. They don't always know that they're engaging with kids, but kids know who they are. And they have relationships with kids, and I don't even know if you know that kids talk about you that way. And I know that they probably think it's in passing and whatnot, but they're a resource and a source of security for a lot of our kids. But the artwork that you put up is just marvelous. And their daughter is our art teacher, who is a phenom anyway. So the products that she produces are with kids is just amazing. Thank you for that work. That is your claim to fame, and we are so the benefactors of that work. It's just a beautiful thing to see day in and day out, all year long, the artwork that's up. So we go from having, two volunteers who are servicing and putting this artwork up to Jenny and Daryl, and I'm not even sure where to start here. Because they are both also employees of our school district, but they're also volunteers. Jenny's had kids that have gone through Hayes, and Daryl has been with us for a while, because they're both a couple of characters, right? Okay, so yeah, you did the yearbook, done the yearbook for a while. That's a lot of work, a lot of time. The ripple effect of that is obvious because kids just run to it when it comes, and they look for their pictures and they look for their class, and it's really fun. But there's also a spirit that these two bring to our school that's just undeniable. Jenny is always working behind the scenes. Channel 9 was in the building on Friday morning because of her volunteerism. And they were there all morning from 9 o'clock till 11:30. And that's because Jenny took it on herself. She wanted a story told, and that happened. One of the things that most people know about Hayes is that we have these crazy characters that show up. Captain Book, Sir Read a Lot, Chef Read It To Me, Inspector Read Some More, Word Man, may he rest in peace. And this year it was the Read Baron. And I'm kind of getting to the point where it's difficult to maintain these characters, right? Because I can't be all of them at the same time. So I had to find a sidekick, and Daryl does a mean Reed Barron impersonation, boy. Oh, he's good. He's really good. Reads the books. Yep. So the kids were even confused. They were looking they'd see me in the hallway and him in the hallway, and they'd be looking, wait a minute, I thought you were. So there's just a multitude of contributions that these two make, and their spirit and their energy, their enthusiasm, and their commitment to kids is just stellar. So I appreciate them so much. So we have certificates for you. I'd like to give them a hand.
Good morning. My name is Patty Hand, and I'm the principal here at Fridley High School, and my assistant principal is Kelly McConville, and my activities director is Dan Roth, and Dan is going to talk in a little bit. I would love for Mary to come up, for Jerry to come up, and Pastor David to come up. I think we'll start with Mary. Mary is a legend at our school. Her nickname is Crazy Mary. I felt super uncomfortable the first couple of years because she's had it long before I came, and I didn't know because I felt like it was inappropriate to call her Crazy Mary, and now I'm so comfortable calling her Crazy Mary. She's unbelievable. I literally do not know another human being who's more positive, energetic, passionate, and dedicated to not only our students, but you have an unreplaceable effect on our staff as well. So Mary oversees our Key Club, which has 150 kids probably, which is huge. It's a volunteer club that is known not only on the national level, but it's known on the international level. And they do so many things. They do tons of service, they do tons of fundraising, they do projects. They helped out at Stevenson Festival last Friday, was it? Friday evening, 21 kids, she said. And they just go and go and go and go, and that whole piece of community service and having that part of what it means to be a good person and a good community leader, she is instilling that in our kids, and she's also inspiring our staff. We have this great group of teachers that help support the Key Club, but whenever they're overwhelmed, you just step in and connect, and they talk about it nonstop with me as well. So I will never be able to thank you for all the work that you do, but it is very much noticed, and it has really made our school just dynamic. And that piece of service learning will never be more important to me. It's so important, and so thank you so much. Thank you. You got to stay up here. I want to introduce Jerry Woods. Jerry is, you are part of the Cummins Company, and you're also representing the whole Cummins Company this morning as well. So you get two. And it's been really fun. So Jerry's come in for a few years now, working with our students. Early 2000, and this is my third year here, so for a very, very long time. But it's really fun. He does mentoring programs with our students where he and other members of his company come in and work and mentor and talk about different career paths with our students and job skills and all those soft skills that we need to be successful, and really works with the kids. So they come to our school, and then we also go to Cummins. And so it's a really, really important partnership, and the kids really look forward to it, but it takes a lot of time and effort. The reason I'm super excited that I get to connect with you this morning and to honor you this morning is I've had the opportunity, we've really worked to put together a CTE, a Career and Technical Education Committee this year, and it's just taken off. And one of the main reasons it's taken off is because of Jerry. It is a dedicated group of teachers, counselors, myself, and different community members, and we're looking to expand our community members as well. And it's just creating this partnership of these are different paths, these are different career paths, these are the things to do, these are the skills to have, this is how we connect, and we're really drawing in more and more and more people from the community and different business leaders from the community from all walks of life, manufacturing, finance, foods, culinary, and bringing people together. And it's so important because our kids not only see different career paths and opportunities for them, but they see it within our community. So it's our community giving back to our schools hopefully then giving back to our community, because there are lots and lots of different careers right within our community. So it keeps it kind of nice and tight. And so I've enjoyed it. I've said many times in different forums that it's one of my favorite things I've done this year is get to be a part of the CT committee, because we're on fire. It's a lot of time and effort. We meet 1 or 2 times a month for a few hours, and we're just connecting all the dots, and it's been so worthwhile, and I look forward to seeing the next step. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And Pastor David Preston is from Grace Evangelical Free Church, and it's really fun. My office is in the front of our school, and I have these 2 big windows, and many afternoons, I happen to be in at the time that David's walking up, and he gives me a wave through the window, and I give him a wave, and he comes in many afternoons over the course of the year to mentor our students and to help tutor our students after school. So we have kind of a open media center after school where students can come in and get work until about 4:15 in the afternoon. And David's just dedicated and consistent and there, and I see him connecting with kids when I go in there. I see you walking out with kids later in the afternoon, and it's just been, that takes time, and that consistency and the kids to know that you're going to be there is really, really important, and you've built very strong relationships. The other way I've gotten to know David a little bit is because we have a faith leaders community where different faith leaders across our community come together and connect with leaders within our district, and we talk about different things. How do we work back and forth? How do we share information about opportunities for students within our faith communities? How do faith communities help support, whether it's boots and hats and coats and different things? And it's just this really, really cool relationship that has been built, and I look forward to connecting as well. And you are always a consistent person there representing your faith community and really just advocating for our students. And so I so appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you when I see you and waving to you and you waving to me, and I just know that the kids are very much supported. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Good morning. So after seeing the elementary peeps up here, 37 years as an educator, I finally figured something out. Why do we lose those volunteers from the high school when their kids graduate? Because they go back to elementary school where you get cookies and hugs. I can't wait. I want to be Sir Read-A-Lot someday. I have my path. I think I know where it's going. All right. If I could have our 2 robotics people come on up. And it got me thinking about something. I say this to parents a lot at the high school. It's when they volunteer and they get kind of grumpy because they see a lot of parents that aren't there. And they're like, we're doing all of it. And I said, no one's forcing you. Okay, that's one thing. And then I also say, you don't know this, but your kids are watching. And that's why I say, like parent, like child, Tom. It says it all. These are 2 graduates. They're about 10 years out, approximately. They're still back. And you don't think that a former student who's now just above the kids that they're working with, how significant they are, those kids want to be like you. They want to work at a place like you do. And you come and you bring that on that time that you get there with us. So I just want to thank you. We have Andrew Panning and Tom Ruhr Jr. And I want to thank you. Appreciate it. So now I'd like my posse over here to come on up. Let's go. What a crew. This is kind of fun. There's so much to be done with high school activities, and it costs money. And you need help, and coaches need help. They're teaching, most are teaching full-time. They all have full-time jobs, and then their after-school job, which becomes another full-time job. And we do need such support. And what you guys have done, and I've known now a lot of you for several years, and some are transitioning with, maybe their youngest graduating, and hopefully we can continue to see each other at different places around Fridley. Enough said there. But I'd like to talk, I'll give really brief quickly about Tammy Allen. She's been helping with football, and mostly football and wrestling. And one of the greatest lines is, I was reffing. I officiate wrestling, and I'm reffing at Fridley in a tournament. And she's doing the scorekeeping. She told me I made the wrong call. She was right. And she brings that kind of passion and honesty, and she's just fun to be with, and she's been a single mom since I've known her, and she is just fabulous with sticking with those boys. And thank you so much for what you do, Tammy. Appreciate it. Abba, there he is. You want some spicy sauce or something to put on some food? That's your dude. He's always, God, that guy could sell snow to Eskimos. He's going to tell you what he thinks, and that's part of his charm. Once in a while, it's correct. Yeah. He's just, and the thing about most of these people, they're like at every game. And so you better get them inside the tent, because if they stay outside the tent, it's going to be trouble. But they're so much fun, and Abba, I think you represent that crew really well. So thanks for all that you do. I got to introduce these two together, Ty Lindsay and Christy Zarowski. They're a couple. Their boys are two boys, and the last one here is graduating. And they've been at the forefront for quite a while with that football program. And Christy, she's kind of the brains of the outfit. She was doing our money stuff, and Ty, he took over the field painting. And as a Ivy school district, we love seeing risk takers. And you were awesome that year that you thought, let's make the F in the middle a little crooked. Gave it a little pizzazz. Yeah, and I got to tell you, I took the hit for that for you, buddy. Who's the guy that was in charge of that? And I want to say you were a risk taker and you were being artistic. It may have been what you were doing before you did that night. I don't know. No judgments here, but I got to tell you, I appreciate that hard work. And someday your kids are going to tell you, thanks, Dad. Yeah. And Christy, along with Tammy, they were really huge for helping when we started our Hall of Fame golf tournament, and we transitioned it from the football program to combining the two. And without you guys that first year, I probably would be Sir Read-A-Lot by this time. Okay, Kay Severson, she has been helping out, and I think her big was with this year, and talking with you and learning more, is what you did for the senior all-night party. And God, is that a thankless thing? And what you provide for those kids, number one, is memories, which is what we're all about, but also safety on a night that is wonderful, and we would hate to have anything that could happen that would take that away in their memory. So thank you so much for that. Wonderful kids, and she still got one, so we'll be seeing her still, but I want to thank you for that. And let's see, I think we have Courtney, right? There's Courtney's. Courtney and Steve. Courtney is one of those that maybe she goes back and gets cookies and hugs. I don't know. Her kids are out, but she's still hanging around with that football program. She's a football junkie, I think is what it is. And she wants to be on the sidelines, so she brings that camera around and says, yeah, I'm the photographer, but she actually does beautiful work. And I've gotten to know her, and what was interesting is she kind of kept that football program going in terms of the boosters while we had we're transitioning coaches. And your skills, you know, the thing is you guys each bring such skills that maybe we don't have within the staff, and that's where it helps us go to the next level. And so Courtney, I want to thank you for that and appreciate it, and you're always welcome on that sideline, you know that. All right. Well, that's it for me. Thank you to the eye candy, Mr. McConville this year. We thank you all. Dr. Heil.
Right? Just saying. We'll be real quick because I know you need to leave for the day. So I just once again wanted to say that Fridley Public Schools is so grateful for your time in volunteering in our district. And I would like to just leave you with a quote of gratitude. So at times, our own light goes out and it is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has a cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lit the flame within us. So Fridley Public Schools want to thank you so much for volunteering in our district, providing your time, and for lighting sparks in others. Thank you so much for caring. You have made an impact. Thank you.